What are you up to, Dragon 8? What are you breaking?
1 second just passed.
Thank the Lord it's Thursday and we meet each other again. The VIP crew is ready for this virtual event. The scenes might be rough but we will have a jolly time. Is everybody here? Are the avatars in line? There's so much going on in the NFT world. It seems like uncharted sea. Let Matthew and Rizzle guide us through. The speaker is ready and so are we. Let's keep sailing on the Metaverse. Thursday's when the lightning strikes. So listen up, there's a lot to learn. Keep the treasure in your sight. Please no one get the veggie draw. Just upgrade your microphone. Together we're strong, we ain't gonna stop. Welcome to the WIP Meetup.
Boom. There we go. Robot Lady, aka Dragon Knight, thank you so much. Glad you got your new cables all hooked up and ready to go. Quick mic check. Y'all can hear me okay? I'm not in the veggie drawer this week, am I? There we go. So this is Matthew, aka Nifty Time. Excited to be back for another WIP. We have a very, very fun episode. We're going back into the Gotchiverse, y'all. Very excited for that. Mike Hallium, GMI Friends is here. Excited for that. Haven't been there for a few months. Last time was extremely lit. We also have a cool jumping course in CryptoVoxels, courtesy of Fabiano and Patrizia, that I'm excited to jump on. More details on that to follow, but I think we're going to be doing heats or something like that, but our dude Rizzle is going to fill us in on there. Couple shills for this week. Number one, if you haven't, make sure you go out to the Metaverse election and vote for Rizzle for CEO of CryptoVoxels. We're making it a thing. Ben Nolan opened up a can of worms, so like Rizzle's going to be taking over CEO there. So we'll be working at Monaverse and CryptoVoxels simultaneously. Check that out. Rizzle and I, we talked about it on our recent podcast. So linking that in a second. Also, second shill for today. There's a really cool drop on Nifty Gateway in a few, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. The German digital artist Stefan Gross-Harbor will be dropping super crypto-focused collection called Electric Bazaar. Check it out. The art's really, really dope, actually. Isometric artworks, 3 of them. We got a $69 open edition and a more limited ranked auction for folks that are interested. And with that, that's my show over. Really excited to get into the Gotchiverse, though. So in order to expedite that, we'll hand over the mic to my dude, Rizzle, Hype Master of the Metaverse, and soon to be CEO of CryptoVoxels. Take it away, bro.
Dude, I was actually thinking I should like shut up about this, man. I like put the poll out there. Yeah, Ben Nolan stepping down, and then I put out like a fake Twitter poll about like who should be CEO of CryptoVoxels, and I won by like a landslide of like 140 votes or something. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just like back off like a little bit. But that was I thought about that like after we had recorded the podcast. So now the podcast is out there about me talking about it too. So there we go. I send people to a random place in the Gotchiverse. I really don't know what I'm doing, but thankfully the Gotchi squad is in here, the Gotchi gang, a few of them, along with buddy Mike Callium, who I met in East Denver, who has been very supportive of all of our stuff, as well as a lot of the Gotchi gang has. So like Matt said, they were in here a while ago. I know they just pushed a lot of updates. It's no secret that I like pet my Aavegotchi and I'm like a super fan of their project. So this is like a great excuse for me to learn about what's going on because I'm just busy and like don't always have the time to dig into everything. So this is how I learn. I come here with y'all to find out cool stuff. So big shout out to Aavegotchi and the Gotchi gang. Huge shout out to Fabiano and Patrizia. Wait till you see the jumping course they have set up for us. It's like so dope. They cooked up some special prizes for the winners. So we're going to do something like, like 3 heats. Maybe top person from each heat will win a thing, and everybody will win something who signs the guest book. We've got the guest book out there as well. So But if you win the thing, you'll get the prizes. So shout out to them for setting this all up. It's a really, really dope setup. If anyone wants to be, I'll be like really intensely refereeing this event. There's no flying. I'll be like booting people out of, the parcel or something. I don't know. So if anyone knows they're going to lose and wants to be a ref, hit me up and you can ref with me. I'm going to whack Elbow's hot mic. Sorry, Elbow. Let's see. I think that's just about anything. If anyone, I'm going to pass the mic to Mike Callium. He can direct us into the Gotchiverse or really wherever he wants. I know they've pushed a lot of updates out there and have been talking earlier today about them in a completely separate event. So stoked to hear what they got going on. If anyone has any questions, please tag Show in the general chat and he will relay them to our presenters after Gotcha Gang is done presenting. Somewhere along the lines, we'll take a group shot with Paradox, so stick around for that. And I think I'm almost done here, and then I will shut up. My life is completely consumed with Rizzlefest. I'm sure everyone's tired of hearing about it. Ticket sales are ending officially tomorrow, I think. Available for FAM if people end up being able to come at the last minute or something like that. So that won't be open publicly, but that's to let y'all know. If anyone's on the fence, we'll make it work for anyone who's fam who really wants to get there. Shout out Meme Explorers for hooking us up with dope shirts. We're in the house today and they hooked us up with some dope Rizzlefest shirts. And Brookhawk came out of nowhere to organize a basketball tournament that I'm also extremely excited about. So I will shut up about that. Last but not least, we're broke. Give us money. The WIP is like public broadcasting of the metaverse. We're in a different spot each week. Finding cool stuff. We don't have any like major sponsors or anything. If you donate to the WIP Meetup.eth, it gets split amongst the crew. If you send money to Matt, he hasn't rugged us in like a billion meta years, and we trust him at least as much as that is worth. So shout out to everyone who makes this happen week in and week out. Foxy Yoga, Easy, Paradox, Show, Dragonade, Conwolf the Stowaway, Brookhawk the Chef, Fabiano, Patrizia, Johan, Matthias, Matt. Follow all of our people. They all do cool things. And with that, I think I've shut up, or I think I should shut up. I think I've talked enough. Mike Callium, we're on a good. Is Mike Callium in the house here, or maybe?
Oh, I got Discord? You. I'm with you.
Oh, you're at the top, dude. You're already like streaming stuff. Dude, this is a tremendous stream of like good audio in a row with mics being passed back and forth. So I can tell yours is good too, man. So take it away.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity, man. This is fun for me, and big shout out to you guys and all of this work that's been going on to make this stuff happen. So just a little background, I'm not part of the team at all because Aavegotchi is a big old DAO community, and so I'm just a big old super fan. We've matured to the point where there's some DAO directors. I am a co-founder of something called GMI Friends, and so GMI Friends is where we do for Aavegotchi what you guys just described y'all do for the greater metaverse interest at large. And so it's really exciting for me to do this right now with you guys and get to know you better, Rizzle. And I've enjoyed the time that I've been following you here actively for about the last 4 weeks. It's been super educational since Denver. And so I'm just seeing the pathways that have been laid before. And so at least diving into Aavegotchi in our little humble world, where I spend almost all of my free time. So Aavegotchi is a DeFi MMO RPG based on NFTs. It's all operating on Polygon, and we're very close to deploying a supernet. And so we'll be one of the first supernets on Polygon, and we'll be deploying the Gotchi chain soon. And that'll be utilizing our in-game core ecosystem token, the Ghost token, as the gas on that super chain. And so this is the kind of the thing that we're seeing happening on Polygon for diversified use cases of Spurs. And so supernet's going to be a really interesting thing. Aavegotchi is far too complex and far too diverse to cover in one little session, and everyone that's in it knows this. It's just the rabbit hole is dense, and so there's never a good place to really start. And so things that I'm thinking about today for you guys that are really relevant would be the Gotchiverse. And so the Aavegotchi project are the NFTs that you have in your wallet. They're on chain. SVG data is all stored on chain. You interact with them on chain, kind of like the good old Tamagotchi days. You would pet your Gotchi twice a day, and that's literally going to your Gotchi in your wallet. And actually, I can show you guys this at least. You go here to play, and then I've got my Gotchis in my wallet, and these are my Gotchis. And everyone's Gotchi is unique to them, right? You get to make your own on-chain names for them, and then they have all the wearables markets, which is, like I said, it gets deep, it gets dense. There's a lot to talk about here that I'm not gonna. So this is the tease for the interest and the curiosity to follow up. But we're going to heading to the metaverse discussion. But they've got stats, they've got gear. It's very much a Decentraland or a sandbox type dynamics in terms of markets and wearables, but these are really well applied in terms of their utility. And that's because we have deployed the Gotchiverse. So by having the Gotchiverse, your Gotchis became more than just collectively rare. And we have mechanisms for farming them on rarity. So if you have a rarer one than someone else, there are incentives within our ecosystem for that. So that was the initial pressure on the Gotchis in general. It drove the interest was the collectability. But we've now seen the deployment of the Gotchiverse. And so now we've got a lot more to do, quite honestly. And so just a little bit of a rundown of what you look at when you're kind of piloting your way into the Gotchiverse. On this right-hand blue panel, these are my parcels that I currently have in my hot wallet that we're working with right now. I have more parcels, but they're put in other places. And so this is just what I've got access to. On the left-hand side here, these are community members who have parcels that they want you to come see or do something at. And so we have a mechanic in our Gotchiverse called a bounce gate. And if you create and craft that bounce gate, put it on your parcel as an installation, you can route people into your desired location of interest. And so there is actually a mechanic in our in-game tokens. We have 4 in-game tokens, FUD, FOMO, Alpha, and KEK. Different circulating supplies, different distribution paths on them, but they're ERC20s live on Polygon. You can see them on CoinGecko. They've been fun. And so you can utilize some of those Alchemica tokens, as we call them, to prioritize yourself on this events list. So people down here at the very bottom of it are the ones who have basically not paid for any kind of priority or premium to be higher on the list of events. And so the Necro Knights holder channeling here, this is hosted by Chair. He's one of the friends over at Infinity Keys who we were playing with the hour before this and doing a whole crazy crossover thing. That's his parcel. He wants us to pay attention to stuff like this. I have his fake gotchi, which is a whole nother discussion. But there is like a creative art element within the Aavegotchiverse as well, which is the fake gotchis movement. And I hold this artwork on chain as an NFT. I am a Necro Knight holder. And so I can take my gotchi and I can go into his parcel that he's made available for me. The only thing that's going to matter here, without getting too into the weeds, which is kind of all we do at Aavegotchi, is that there's channeling that can occur. Oh, by the way, shout out to Fire here. If you don't know what Fire is and you don't use this extension in your browsers with your daily interactions with crypto, it's a good idea. It's not the only one of its kind, but it's basically a contract or an interaction describer, right? Kind of breaks it down into layman's terms and lets you know what you're about to sign on your wallet. This is kind of how you can get those red flags before you sign away your whole wallet contents. So if you don't have an extension that helps you kind of monitor that, it's something to think about. So here I am on his parcel. This is his altar in the center of it. These are his harvesters and his reservoirs, without breaking down specifics of them all. But this is how he's extracting value from his parcel. His parcel's the borders of this teal, and you saw that it just switched to pink. It just switched to pink because it now just cleared me as being on his allow list to be able to interact with his property. So I can come here, and I'm lucky right now because every 1 hour you can channel on a level 9 altar. And that there's a lot of parameters to break down there, but I want to do this before I get maybe beat by somebody. So right now it's the level 9 Alchemica altar. I can hit this channel button. This is me interacting with his parcel and his installation, but he put me on a whitelist. And so I'm able to come over here and interact with this. And so I can sign this. This is all on chain. So what is channeling? What's an Alchemica altar? This is like the core component that you build on your parcel in the Gotchiverse. And this is how you pray to the Alchemica gods and you channel to the Alchemica gods, and they bless you with some Alchemica from the sky. And this is UBI essentially within the Gotchiverse. It does come from a player rewards fund, which is a part of our DAO's treasury. We did just close our Ghost bonding curve, which they're essentially calling like a multi-year fundraise. And so it ended up closing the curve here about a month ago. And that was about 30 million DAI that was in the curve that we were able to withdraw. And so that's been allocated in different tranches within our DAO management. Pixcraft Studios are the summoners of the Aavegotchi project. but it's been DAO since day one. Since the Ghost token went live before the Gotchis did, and it's been out for a good long, almost 2.5 years now. People like Rizzle, those guys have been there for a long time. People like Chair, those guys are all like Haunt 1 is what we call it, which is the first edition of release for the Gotchis. Oh, let me just, I have to interrupt myself here. So this is Chair showing up here at his own parcel, and he has spewed Alchemica all over the ground because he's dope and he's being gracious. And so you see Nadil, one of the other Gotchi gang, it's just also followed along with us in our earlier events, is along for the ride. So he's scooping up all this Alchemica, which is what I'm now doing. So this is me literally interacting with in-game tokens. And so I'm picking up the Keck, are these big purple blocks. The bigger blocks are the +1 units in total. You'll see in the down and left panel down here, this is kind of my Aavegotchi's game dashboard. And so right now, the specific for me is this 206 of 296. That's how much Alchemica, someone else, hang on, let me keep picking stuff up here too. So that's how much capacity I have to hold Alchemica in my pocket, is what this Gotchi has. He's got his own capacity and his own limitations, and they are uniquely different. Different Gotchis have different carrying capacities as well as everything else about them. I think down here in this left panel, this demonstrates that really well. So this is with the wearables that this Gotchi is equipped with, is how we end up at this particular character panel breakout. And so he's got specific equipment. He's got a magic staff, so he's more on the ranged damage side. He doesn't have a melee weapon. His HP has been plussed because of some of his wearables. And then based on his BRS, you see there at the very bottom stat, the plus 45.5 carry capacity via the BRS, and then a little 20.5 bonus from the wearables. So that's how I get to the 296. There's other Gotchis who are essentially more rare. When the whole thing came out, they were simply just more rare. But now that those stats have started to mature and matter, they're literally much more functional. They're able to carry a lot more. They can, if I hold sprint, I can run. They can run further than me. As I continue to run, you'll notice that blue bar for me is dipping down, and that's my AP. That's my action points. Above that are my HP points. If we were in the arena, both of those are much more relevant. I know that Rizzle's a big fan of the arena. I found myself in there one-on-one with just one other friend this morning, just a straight duel setup. And it was thrilling. I, for the first time, ran and had to go use some of the trees inside the arena to put some distance between us while I was regenning, because I didn't have any potions, because I didn't expect to kind of get caught in that situation. And so this is all the different kinds of ways that you can currently interact with the Gotchiverse. It's a big, diverse place. You'll see in the upper left-hand corners kind of the mini map. You can zoom in a little bit on that, see where your little Gotchi is in his space. If you can see the faintest of outlines, the little bit of like the perforations in the mini map. Those are the separations of the districts. We're currently in the Citadel, which is the primary central location of the Gotchiverse. And they have the ambition to introduce the grid, which will be a much larger and unowned wild PvE element of the Gotchiverse. Right now, we're all just hanging out in the Citadel and doing our thing and building our stuff and feeling pretty safe because this is the safe spot. The arena was introduced here about maybe 3 weeks ago, something like that. We've had a couple play tests and some fun 24-hour, 48-hour swings, but it's the first time that it's been up for a significant amount of time to where anyone can just come and go into the arena. The heroes have kind of already risen to the top for some of these classes, and so you don't see necessarily like 50 people in there at once, but if you come to our Saturday hangout calls, you'll tend to easily get 8 to 15 people in there duking it out, because it's just a no friendly fire shielding free-for-all. So it's just big old death match. And so once we see more refinement in that, I think we'll see a lot more adoption in the PvP element, but there's some people that really have been enjoying that as well. So that's a big part of the Gotchiverse, without too much, because I want to leave a little bit of room for questions, because there's a lot of strings to tug on. So I'll hush for a moment, and maybe Rizzle, you could step in and tell me, because I don't know fully, what snagged you about the Gotchi project in general to begin with?
Dude, I'm in the middle of asking Show a question to ask you. Hang on, let me type that. Okay. Dude, what snagged me? I like a lot of I play a lot of like stupid video games, or have played a lot of like stupid video games. I say stupid, but they're not. Like I say that like simple video games over the years that are sort of like variations on like tower defense games and like role-playing games, and like I never really got into MMOs, but like a lot of different like things that involve like leveling up your character and like building things in order to unlock other things. And I've always just been like a big fan of that like sort of flywheel, especially if it's done in like a really cool, creative way. And for a very long time, man, I feel like Aavegotchi was way out in front of doing anything remotely like that on like a fun, interesting scale in Web3. And then, you know, as I dug deeper and understood like the sort of DeFi roots of it all, I felt like, you know, it's one of few projects that like really ties a lot of like interesting things together. And I also love Jesse, man. Like we go way back. Jesse from originally Bullion X is how I got to know him, and I know he's like a big community guy who does a lot of listening and is in it for like a lot of the same reasons that I am too. So I knew a lot of the like sort of OG gotchi people when, you know, this project originally started, and believed in them from very early on as well. So it's a combination of a lot of things that made me sort of take interest in it. And I still to this day like play some random things or whatever that take a few minutes a day or whatever, and then that's it. And then I feel like I did my little thing for that or whatever. And so I like that I can like pet my Aavegotchi, collect my little coins or whatever. And if I can only interact with it for like, you know, 40 seconds one day or whatever, that's like totally fine. And if I miss a day or whatever, it's not the end of the world. But I like the low effort, but like high, I don't know, interest in it and or fun in it. And then you can, dude, you said stuff today that I wasn't even like totally aware of. So I feel like this is one of these things where you can like dig as deep as you want and like, you know, continue to find cool stuff going on that you weren't even aware of in the first place.
Well, and to pick right up off of that vibe too, the nice thing is when you get to the cutting edge of what's available, that's where the DAO development comes in, and we're able to just say, well, what about this? And if it's a good idea, we do listen. And I love our DAO. We're up to AGIP 71, which are all just essentially ecosystem improvements up to that point. SIGPROP that has to go to core prop, about a 2-week governance process following discourse that has to be started as initial temp checks. Like in terms of the DAO development element is why this thing is so good. It's because we've got some of the most engaging minds in the crypto space dig into Aavegotchi. It's just dense enough that it can scare some people off. But if you take a look at it and it tickles your fancy, you're gonna just fall in love because it's just something for everybody. So I'm back on the home panel here. Someone was asking if they wanted to be able to follow along what they might do. So if you go to verse.aavegotchi.com, and I have that dropped in the general as well, you can pick any one of these event listings on the left-hand side because you probably won't have any properties on the right-hand side. But I'm gonna show you a little bit of a use flow here. So I'm going to go to one of my parcels because I want to activate my bounce gate so I can actually let people come and hang out with me. And there's enough people paying attention right now that I think we might actually have people come through the bounce gate so we can kind of proof case everything here. So this is me picking my gotchi. I'm doing my thing, signing my transaction and letting them know it's me. Headed into the Gotchiverse. We're headed currently to the GMI estate is what we call this place. And this is GMI Gotchiverse Media International. This is what we do is promote all things Aavegotchi. We love this project, and we're just a group of community members that are creative as can be. We've got musical artists, we've got graphic designers, we've got coders and developers, we've got people like me. And so all of us just kind of combine our talents and forces to try to make this sucker work because we see something that we like. Nick Mudgeon, as well as Jesse, you know, these lead summoners. I mean, that's the author of the EIP 2535 Diamond contract. And at least if we talk tech at all, and you start looking at the tech stack that's underlying Aavegotchi, you'll also just fall in love. It's not just cute things. It's not just a little bit of a game. It's the most advanced NFT project I've currently found myself. And so here's the bounce gate in the GMI parcels. This one's teal. These two are teal on the left and right of me because I don't own them, but the pink one here is in my wallet so I can interact with it. This is the bounce gate. So I'm going to click on the bounce gate. It's going to ask me what I want to do. So I'm going to ask it to create an event. We'll do GMI BG exploration. I tell you what, I got to tell Dev to do something because this 1 megabit 2-to-1 ratio constraint is killing me. I don't have it. I've been in Canva, I did the work, it ain't happening. But I promise it'll get fixed because they listen, and that's the point, and that's the value. is this is not just a gaming experience, it's a gaming experience that you can contribute to its very success as. And that's like the joy of the metaverse. It's the joy of Web3. It's overlapping true GameFi interaction, because it's not simply just here's a game you can play and try to make money. It's like, why don't you come and help us build something interesting? And so the bounce gate should be live at this point. It ends in 2 hours. So there's probably a bounce gate on the front end now that says GMI bounce gate exploration. So now what I'll do is I'll kick out here. Let's just go this way. We'll quit. Boom, boom, boom. We'll get out of there. We're back on the home board. I didn't play or pay any of the premium spotting or nothing like that. So I bet I'm down here in the trenches. There you go. So the GMI bounce gate exploration. Hey, look at that. I got a default image in there from last time I did it, I guess. Cool. Never mind, devs. They're all right. We'll log in here. This is going to that same parcel via the bounce gate. So now at this point, anybody could come here with any of the gotchis that they have in their wallet, or you can even in the lower left of that gotchi selection panel, when you're looking at your entry, there's a button called join as an observer. If you join as an observer, you can go right in. So there's Nadeal. Nadeal is one of my favorite friends, guys. This guy's a real artist. He's got a lot of talent long before blockchain and will long after, and just got a taste of Aavegotchi and just hasn't been able to put it down. We've watched him go rabid. And so he reminds me a little bit of you, Rizzle. It's people that have so much going on and still for some reason really like what you see here. So those are y'all are the people that make me so bullish on it. And the more time I spend in it, the more I enjoy it. The more of us that do that, the better it gets. And so there's a really serious positive feedback loop here that's not just limited to Aavegotchi. It's how good projects and good communities will succeed. And we're not the only ones having that. And so the more time I spend with you actually and paying attention to what y'all are doing, I see the same vibes. And so it's just like, and Magic, one of the co-founders at Infinity Keys, was just saying this, is metaverses are just digital social experience opportunities. That doesn't have to be one ivory tower that commands them all. And so we can all find our joys where we find them. And so I find a lot of mine in the Gotchiverse. So if anyone has more questions after that, you're always more than welcome to ping through the chain, let Rizzle know, and he'll always just send you our way, or you can just check out gmifriends.com. You can check out aavegotchi.com. And there's just so much. I promise you'll find something that'll speak to your palate. I think maybe that's a decent timeline there. What do you say, Rizzle?
Dude, that's great. I just dropped the event link to where you are. So if anyone wants to hop in there and come hang out for a few minutes.
I see you in there, huh?
Yeah, man, I'm popping in. I know I relayed a question to show. I think a couple other people did. And I, just for clarity, I have no affiliation with Aavegotchi at all either. But did sort of find my way into it by somehow I ended up with an Aavegotchi like really early on. Ooh, I see it's raining. I should shut up and go collect. And for a long time, all I did was like pet it. It was just like, something I did. It was like, cool. My little thing is like leveling up, but I don't have time to dive into it. And like really, really slowly, like sort of eased my way into the point of understanding where I am, which is not like super in depth, but it's fun. So yeah, it's cool, man. And I appreciate you hopping on here and giving us the lowdown. While I pass the mic to Show, I'm going to run around and collect some of these little thingies that are falling from the sky. If anyone has an Aavegotchi and wants to hop in, please. I don't think you can collect as an observer, but you can hop in and hop in a group shot or take a snapshot with us or something. I'm going to pass the mic over to Show, though. I know a couple questions came through, and maybe he's got one of his own. So, Show, man, any questions for Mycelium?
Hey, man, what's going on?
Howdy.
So it's been a couple of weeks since you were here last, and you had an awesome presentation before. Would you say that you and the team, actually you and the community, have accomplished what you originally set out to do previously, or that you previously mentioned? And if so, how?
So the only thing there is you'll have to give me a little bit of back talent. So you might have had who? Jesse? You might have had one of the other guys, because I definitely wasn't here a couple weeks ago. So I want to know what promise they made, and then I can tell you whether or not we hit it.
Or more like a month or so ago. You were here before. No?
No, show. I don't think so.
Okay, it's fine. We have a question from Brizzle. He would like to know: is the new mining game going to be tied into the larger Gotchi verse?
So the new mining game, if we flip out of here, if we go to the front end, that's this guy right here, Gotchi Miner. So this is a whole different beast. This is completely community built. We have a what we call an arcade task force, and that's a good chunk of the DAO treasury that can be used to help fund development teams that have anything interesting that Gotchi Gang can benefit from. And so Gotchi Miners is related to Aavegotchi in the sense that you need an Aavegotchi to get into this alternate forked game idea and participate in it. So is it involved in the Gotchi verse specifically? No. It won't have anything specifically to do with the Gotchi verse. It won't change the way that your Gotchis interact in Aavegotchi platform. It's almost, we don't like to call this one a mini game necessarily because there's nothing mini about it. It's been pretty robust what they built here. But this is a good example of what the DAO does when someone shows up with a good idea. So it's related to Aavegotchi. It requires Aavegotchi assets to interact with it, but it's practically a standalone experience. Yeah, and then the last thing I'll say here is right there in the chat for this voice chat. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Show. If you were speaking, I was not getting the feed.
Oh, it was just my microphone. Lastly, we have a question from Matthew. He would like to know what are some things that folks can do with all the claimable tokens that they're using to seed the Gotchiverse parcel with.
In terms of like maybe the Alchemica is probably what it sounds like we're referring to. So if you're like channeling on your altar and you're getting the Alchemica with those 4 different in-game tokens into your wallet is where they land. And like we have LPs at QuickSwap, so you can go and swap them out if you need to. And so there are exit strategies that people utilize to turn them into other tokens. Otherwise, you could make LPs with them and stake those LPs in QuickSwap. And there's currently some glitter farm DeFi opportunities that kind of incentivize that liquidity provision. So there's a huge DeFi community part of the game as well. There's people that interact with Aavegotchi that don't even play the Gotchiverse. They don't go into the parcels. They don't touch them. They just do the DeFi side. There's fake Gotchi artists that just do an artistic production side and have an NFT launch pad within our ecosystem. The tokens drive a lot of that. The tokens are essentially just in-game currency. We have the Ghost token, and then the 4 Alchemica tokens, and then the real weird one is Glitter. That's a unique one because that represents 1 block of time on Polygon. And so a little bit like Farmville or any of these like land building games, our installations have timelines on them to finish their production. And Glitter is the token you can use to accelerate those timelines. And so those in-game tokens can be swapped for Glitter. They can be swapped for Ghost. They can be swapped for anything that crypto allows.
Awesome. No, yeah, and thank you for the explanation, dude. And Gotchiverse just continues to get better, and the way that these airdrops are happening here, like the visual representation, interaction with them is super cool. Outside of the DeFi side of things, curious to see if folks will end up using the tokens for other purposes as well, or like whitelisting access to any of the art-focused events just by requiring like a minimum amount of like token ownership, et cetera, et cetera. So that's really dope. Anyone else? I know GMI Friends was on the speaker list here associated with Aavegotchi. Anything else? Any other updates we want to get to on the side of the speaker list?
For me, that's an all-in-one inclusive speaker list right there. Yeah, I'm the whole package from myself to the GMI to the Aavegotchi, the whole pitch. The only other thing that I would say is maybe the fake gotchis. The fake gotchis is an element of it that we not even touched on. That's worth investigating on your own for a different element of experience.
Cool. So everyone, do your homework. Fake gotchis before Mike Helium comes back. Awesome, dude. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks y'all so much for the time. I'm again just very appreciative to see the curiosity and the interest. How many people are in this room right now? How many people pay attention to what y'all are putting on? That's the kind of stuff that motivates me. It's the exciting part because there are real believers. There are people having good times here. Thanks.
Oh, cool. And then Rizzo, I guess that leads us to the next portion. We're going to jump into crypto voxels to the jumping course, break ourselves up into different heats potentially. Where are we at with that?
I'm talking to myself. Yes, yo, shout out Michaelium for hopping on here with GMI friends and the Aavegotchi DAO. Yeah, let's hop on to the jumping course. This is prepared by Fabiano and Patrizia, who, as many of you know, have been making wearables for us, for everyone who attends the WIP every week. And I'm going to drop the guest list here as well. You don't have to fill it out right this second, but make sure you bookmark that because I will close it after the event. But hop into CryptoVoxels and give everyone like a minute or so to get in there. But I think, let's see, let me hop in. Oh, I see a bunch of people popping in. I think the idea is we will do 3 rounds, sort of like on the count of 3, go. And let me see, where is the end? Is all the way up here near this elf, way at the top. And we'll sort of see how the first round goes. If this is like some sort of impossible feat to accomplish, which I don't think it will be given the talented hoppers in the audience, I see like, yeah, I saw someone just fall to their death. Give people a few minutes to get in here and sort of check it out for a second. But then I think the idea is we'll do 3 rounds. Nobody can win twice type of thing. And the first person who gets to the top from each round will be like first, second, and third place. So first person who wins round 1, or person who wins round 1 will be first place. Person who wins round 2 will be second place. Person who wins round 3 will be third place. Hopefully that made sense. I think I said it all correctly. So hop on in. And Dragonate, is it possible to get a little like I don't know, hopping music or something like that? Well, that I know you want to compete, and I don't want to stop you from competing. But if we could get some sort of anything, more specific hopping music. I don't know, pond dance music. What comes up if you search for that? Wait, where is the pond? There's a pond. Oh yeah, there's a great fly frog pond over here in the corner. If y'all didn't see that. I don't know. Nature. There's something, elf. There's a lot of different themes going on here. Flea market. We got the flea market. If you all don't know, Fabiano and Patrizia also make tons of wearables over here that are also on the market on OpenSea for very reasonable prices. A lot of them you've been able to accumulate if you came to enough whips. But if you've missed any or want to grab some of theirs. And also big shout out to Digga.eth, who is also Sasha, who is also like someone else too. Anyway, big time supporter of the WIP, whose parcel this actually is, lent it to Fabiano and Patrizia to make the whole thing. So with that, I'm going to drop the link one more time to CryptoVoxels here. Dragonate's giving me a hard time with like the music selection. I don't know, man. What happens? Just hopping music. Frogger. Oh, there we go. All right, so I'm going to drop it one more time. I'll give everyone like maybe 10 seconds. Everyone get back to the starting line. And in case you didn't read the sign, there's no flying. One's up here cheating. Down here. Valiant. Down here. Back to the starting line. Anyone who doesn't start the starting line is automatically disqualified. Alright. Oh, I was wondering who that is. That's a paradox. Okay. I'm going to type go into the chat box at the same time I say go, and then y'all can go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. That green platform is the bridge. just take the first 3 to make it to the end properly. The way people are dying rapidly. Oh, Bananakin. Oh no. Oh, Dragonade. Oh, I knew Dragonade was gonna win this. Oh, he fell. There's an anonymous naked person who's pretty close. Oh, who is anonymous naked person? Oh, anonymous naked person won. Who is?
His eye. Nifty's eye.
What?
Dude, I never fucking win these things. This is crazy.
Matt, I'm so impressed. And it's so
Yo,
great to see someone beat Dragonade. Dragonade finally made
the
it.
orange frame is the hardest part.
Conwolf looks like he's totally cheating. Matt, is this you again?
No, I'm showing up at the top.
Some other anonymous naked person just made it. Ooh, it might be Snail.
I swear my jump is like dead.
I think Johan's gonna get the last place.
Right before the whip,
almost.
I did such a clean jump, and now like
Look
my
at this.
jump doesn't really work.
Yeah, I just saw
Dude,
Johan.
Johan.
Yeah,
Johan missed that last big block.
he did. Oh, Valiant's getting close. Oh, Valiant made it. Nice job, Valiant. All right, I think we got 3, but we have a. Oh, did Fabiano make it? No,
Hold on,
Fabiano's not.
give Johan like 3 seconds. He's got this one. There you go, Johan. Boom.
All right, Dragon, I think we cut it. All right, I think we got Dragonate, Anonymous Naked Person, and Valiant. Matt, you technically won, but like, you know, I feel like we're not like technically allowed to win. Matt, I'm like super impressed with your skills, dude. Like seriously.
Dude,
that was like
only
such a
took 3
flex.
years. Only took 3 years.
Dude, that was a flex, dude. That was very, very impressive. Especially just like all naked and anonymous, just sort of creeping up there. We have a naked anonymous person who won. Hang on, I'm trying to get in the chat. Does anyone know who this other naked anonymous person was? We have like a rando ghost naked anonymous person. All right, tell you what, let's do one more heat. If we need to give out like, wait, yeah, none. Who are you? Let's do one more heat. Either way, we'll find something to give out. We've got stuff. Let's go back to the beginning. And I don't know. We got like a bunch of whip shirts and something somewhere. Let's give out some whip shirts. We'll do I don't know, like first, second, third again. Anon, who are you? Okay, tell you what. If we don't identify Anon, wait, no, get back here, cheaters. Cheaters, get back to the starting line. All right, if we don't identify Anon, the person who wins this will be the third place person. Otherwise, we'll give first, second, third place some sort of prize. All right, so I'll do the same thing. Dragonate, do you mind cueing some sort of hopping music? And then on the count of 3, I'll say go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Valiant's like got this figured out. Conwolf looks like he's on a mission too. Easy. Nice, Johan. Throw that. Now there's a naked person named Ballistic Banana. This is now there's Guest Micah. Guest Micah, the naked person from no, that anonymous person is still there. What? I wonder if that's Snail. Who we got at the top? We got Valiant. Dragonade, are you still up there from last round? Okay. Trying to keep track of Conwolf. Really leveling up our jumping courses. About to get up there. Ooh, we made it. Congratulations, Cryptolorian number 2. Ooh, and Conwolf following it right up. Nice. I think that's it for this season. Yo, nice. Perfect. Is Mike Halliam, are you guest Micah?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Were you anonymous the first round? Did you get a second place the first round?
No,
Oh, no, there is.
no, I don't know. That was the other anonymous.
Okay, there's a rando. Okay, got it. All right, cool. So let's see. It looks like we got Dragonate, Valiant, and random person that is possibly to be determined. They may surface on Twitter as winner of the first round. Then we got Conwolf, Decryptolorian, Valiant, and Guest Micah as the runner-up coming in the second round here. And that was pretty dope. Big shout out to Fabiano and Patrizia. While everybody's in here, and if you're not in here, why don't you pop in? And this seems like a good time to do the group shot here with Paradox. And I'll let him figure out where he wants to do it. But this is probably a good time to hop in World and sort of do the group shot and wrap things up and kick it over to show for the Afties.
Testing. How's my audio?
Sounds good, dude.
Cool.
Man, we've really crushed at this event.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Dragonate, do your thing, so if you may.
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradox. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradox. I'm taking over the show.
Okay, that's my cue. Right, so if you've not been listening, I am Paradox. I am the resident WIP videographer, and I edit together a series of clips into a little sequence every week. It's kind of like a recap, and that video goes out on Rizzle's Twitter, so keep an eye out for that. But if you want to be in this week's, I'm going to say episode, video thing, let's do two things, shall we? So the first thing I wanted to do was gather everybody up here at the finishing line. I think everyone's done that already. Let's have a look. Are there any other stragglers? There's a Marcus. It's here somewhere. And we've got Jizzle. Okay, cool. Right, guys, last chance to be in the photo. But what we'll do, we're going to do two photos, but let's get this first one going. Dragonate, if you've got any kind of like background music for now, kind of on half, that'd be great. Let's throw up those emojis. Let's have fun. And fade, please, Dragonate. Okay, so let's keep the energy going. Right, I want everybody down on the ground in front of the NFT flea market because this thing is way too good not to get on video. So same again, please. Anywhere in this general area, throw up some emojis. Dragonate, pump the music when you're ready, sir. Beautiful. And fade down. Awesome timing. Okay, cool. That is it from me. Guys, I'll catch you all next week. Thanks very much. Paradox out. Cheers, guys.
Yo, thank you, Paradox. I can't believe we got through the entire show without like any audio problems. I think this is like the first time in a very long time that has happened. Yay us, go us. The winners, yes. The winners are Dragonate, anonymous person who we have yet to investigate, and Valiant, possibly Conwolf. So we got an anonymous person we got to track down, and Conwolf is on the I don't know, on deck or something. But either way, we're going to hook up Conwolf, Decryptolorian, Valiant, and Mycalium with a something for hopping on through. Yes, Mycalium won as well. So yeah, we're going to hook them all up with a whip shirt or something like that for coming through. Yep, I'll gather their wallets. Fabiano, thank you so much for hosting us with this jumping competition and having us in your parcel and providing us with prizes and dope, cute thingies from the flea market each week. Mycalium, man, thanks so much for hopping in here and giving us the deep dive on the Gotchiverse and the latest stuff that's going on. I think that's about everything, and we can kick it over to show. And I'm going to pass it over to Matt real quick to double check me.
Dude, we're good. This is fun. The emoji situation, CryptoVox is amazing. As the new CEO, I want you to like increase and like double down into the emoji situation, CryptoVoxels. Make everything so much better. Over and out on my side. let's pass the show. Get that intro music lined up. Drago Nate.
Wait, is this thing on? Yeah. Yeah.
It's time for the FTs.
Hot takes, opinions, thoughts. Let's go. Hey, what's up, y'all? How's my audio? Am I 2x2 or 5x5? All right, cool. Rizzle trying to ice me by sending me DMs. I don't want the CEO position. You have it. Stop icing me, Rizzle. Seriously, I think anybody could do a better job than Ben Nolan. I mean, oh shit. Did I say that out loud? My bad. I guess my audio is working. Hey, y'all. Check this out, y'all. I know what you say behind my back and muted into each other in secret Discord DM groups. I get it. He's not fun anymore. He's not performing anymore. He's not reading out sonnets anymore. He's not screaming anymore. It's not the same. It's not interesting. I know you're on Pornhub while the Afties is happening. I know that you're like creating children, however the fuck you make kids. I don't even know. I forgot. You know, you're doing shit. You server deafen and all this other stuff. I get it. The reason why is because things have been cascading. Things have been moving in a particular direction. And I feel like I've been challenged. Because I feel like you all have been challenged. And I don't feel like you understand the gravity of the challenge. Because the challengers feel that we shouldn't have things like Gotchiverse. We shouldn't have things like marble cards. That there's securities, that you're expecting some kind of investment, that you're expecting to get rich, that you're part of a hedge fund. That you shouldn't have ENS names like Easy and Crypto.eth. That you shouldn't be the owner of Token Smart like Trizlit. That you shouldn't be the CEO of Crypto Voxels because you're a CEO. So that means you're supposed to pay money to the government. Like, do you understand? You hear how that sounds? That's something like a Rizzle Fest. That you shouldn't be having real world events with people that's based off of digital relationships. So, this is what I'm going to do. Since you're sick and tired of my voice, I'm going to do something I don't often do. I'm going to share two things with you. One of them is an image. All right? So, click on me, click on the screen. I want you to look at an image real quick. Oh, not this. Hold up. I'm jumping. I meant to share a link. But hey, click on my screen, y'all. So you can hear my voice. If you're still here with me, shout out to everybody who's still here with me. Because all it is a seed. All it takes is one of you to believe and listen and share it, and it could hit hundreds of fucking people. So it's not about who's left in the voice channel. It's more about who's really listening. You know? I want you all to just take a look at the screen. And you type into the channel and tell me what you see. What do you see? Better yet, unmute your microphone and someone tell me what you see.
A criminal?
Elaborate. I mean that positively. I'm not trying to attack like I normally do.
Yeah, if, for example, someone's in a situation where they can literally affect the laws of, let's say, finance, and also has investments in, let's say, stocks for corporations that said laws affect and regulate, they can have great control and make great funds through that. Whereas if it's a decentralized financial system, they cannot do that. And I think that it's pretty clear to anybody that pays attention, there's a lot of, let's say, criminal finance shenanigans that goes on in the standard end of things, which of course that can take place in any market, crypto as well. But there's less control for them to have and enforce over us, so they're attacking it.
Thank you. To piggyback off of that excellent explanation. First off, y'all, I'm not a teacher. All right, this isn't a fucking school. I'm just a fucking mouthpiece in this space. Just so you know, I'm just some fucking guy. All right. But when I see this, and this woman saying that she's looking to protect working families, and this is what she's fighting against because it's a threat to working families. It's not ironic. It's a fucking oxymoron, or better yet, not even an oxymoron. It just screams confusion, or more like, working families in America. It's a term that means middle class. It's a social understanding that, hey, you are financially stable. You most likely live in the suburbs. You're not living in any coastal cities. That's what it suggests, even though there are working families all over the country, right? It doesn't literally mean a family that's full of workers. It's a concept that it's associated with the American dream. So when you're protecting that, you're sending a message saying, hey, this is a threat to your livelihood. This is a threat to the American dream. So this senator is saying that crypto is a threat. But how is crypto a threat to working families in an economy that has working families that put their money that they've worked so hard for into banks that are failing? If banks are failing, what are working families going to do? You're just going to be working. Where are you putting the money? So, I don't know if people are still understanding me here. If self-custody is what you have, right, when there are no more banks, if you had it in something that is extremely safe, even safer than putting your money with banks that could dissolve overnight and lose your funds, then what are working families going to do? If you're not FDIC insured, if you have more than 250K, then you're losing whatever is more than 250K. You just get 250K back because you're insured up to 250K in most of these banks. But if you self-custody, you know what? Again, I know you hate my voice. So I'm going to let you listen. How about this? I'm going to let you listen to, all right, this is a politician. She's running for re-election, and she's saying that you are a threat in the voice channel, that you are a threat. And she's creating an army to take you out. In fact, she has empowered Gary Gensler of the SEC. I know you hate hearing this voice, but this person, this individual thinks that your marble card is a threat to working families. This individual thinks that your PFP is a threat to working families, that it's a threat to the US dollar, that it's a threat to the government, it's a threat to America. Are you I'm not making this up. These are their words. Gary Gensler had he had a funding meeting. That's what the fuck I'm going to call it. It's basically a funding round where you go to your chief investor, which is the American government, and you're saying, hey, we need more money to keep doing what we're doing. He had the nerve to ask for $2.2 billion in order to hire 1,500 enforcement agents. To do what? To regulate. Or, hey, to do what? To protect working families. But protect working families from what? From you. From Fabiano's artwork.
So then what the fuck are we going to do about it? I mean, this is serious. You're not wrong. I pay attention to this shit all the time. It freaks me the fuck out. Liz Warren has problems, but her biggest problem is ignorance. We are like the test case for we're the test case for how it works well. Not, we are riddled with scammers, etc. But our market is proof of concept for how to build an equitable system in general. It has its flaws as well, but in general, we've built an equitable market here in the last 3 years plus, and we need some kind of fucking outreach to get our magic, or just at least some sort of vision of it, into the brains of these people so that they can see a different way. They only see us as the scammers, right? They lump all of it in together with Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever the fuck. And so we need to be like the little pearl in the pile of shit and show that there's a different way. No?
It's funny that you mentioned that. I'll just say this before I piggyback off of what you just eloquently said.
Cheers.
Gary Gensler wants your tax money to fund his hiring of 1,500 enforcement agents in order to harass you for money through enforcement, hoping for settlements. Does that make sense? You're paying for a government agency to bully you openly and extract money from you. I'm not making this up. This is a loop. He literally, there's videos on Twitter. He was just there. It was a budget proposal, $2.2 billion, in order to continue what he's doing and increase it. Now, to piggyback off of what Hidden Forces just said, it's funny that you mentioned that, because we have an individual, more than one individual, who understands what the hell is going on. Now, we're not watching an entire video. Like, my attention span is zero. We're only watching snippets, and we're listening to snippets in order to give you a different voice to listen to briefly, other than mine. Let me just say that I've become a single issue voter. I don't like bipartisanship because people masquerade as one thing and they say another thing. And then when it's time to execute or put something into place, it's something totally different, unrelated to anything that they've been saying or doing or representing, right? So the concept of left wing, right wing, the concept of Democrat and Republican, it doesn't make any sense. But it's kept this country in this weird equilibrium that seems to have made it a ton of money. Look, my point is that I may lean Democrat, but you just saw Senator Warren, who's a Dem, attacking the space. I feel like the space is above the concept of bipartisanship, meaning it's above being Democrat or Republican. It's a global thing. This is about God. I know you motherfuckers hate listening to me.
No, agreed. We all agree.
This is about humanity. The ability to innovate on top of this novel innovation, which is paper money, the concept of money, innovating this thing in order to facilitate things within this world. And I'm not the only one who feels this way. I cannot believe this, but the House Majority Whip, who is a fucking Republican, is one of the biggest fighters of the space. And he explains it here.
It's the centralized bankers and government. Those are the ones, let's just go back to 2008 when they messed up this economy the last time. Because their poor monetary policy led us to a place where a lot of people suffered, a lot of people were hurt. That's when you have the Satoshi white paper that shows.
Wait, hold on, Brookhawk. Let me just make this clear. Again, this is about humanity. This is not about race. This is about us sharing this ideology because we feel like it's the truth. Why would you limit all these things, especially if your economy is in the shitter? It's like, what is the point? I thought that this country is all about making money. So why are they doing things that are counterintuitive to making money? If your goal is to make money, if you're trying to protect money, why are you... Listen to Tom Emmer.
That's when the Bitcoin experience begins. And I believe a lot of these central bankers, both here and around the globe, but let's just focus on the U.S., some of our biggest central bankers, not just the Fed, but some in the private sector, were looking at people that were doing this Bitcoin thing. And I guarantee you, Ryan, they were going, oh, look at those kids. Isn't that cute? Playing with their virtual money. You know, it's like a video game that they're doing. And then it goes on for about 2, 3, 4 years. They go, uh-oh, this thing's actually picking up steam. There might be something here. And so then they tried to kill it, in my opinion. Their goal was to try and stop it. They couldn't. So guess what? The last few years, they've been trying to swallow it up. This is the discussion about CBDCs. This is now the discussion about Fed now. I mean, their whole thing was, let's get you people and your audience, let's get you on board with central banking in the digital age, which is nothing more than a surveillance tool for government. But guess what? There are too many of us that say no. There are too many of us that are going to stand in the way. So I look at what's happened in just the past few weeks. There definitely, a lot of people talk about, is there a choke point 2.0?
Before we get into choke point 2.0, did you just fucking hear what he said? Did you hear that? This is a congressman. This is the cream of the crop. He is he's the House Majority Whip, House of Representatives. Sorry, for anyone who's not from this country, this individual is part of a handful of powerful people within this country. He's extremely influential. His voice is really strong. Really strong. And he just told you exactly what the hell happened. And you've been hearing words that I've been telling you for weeks now. Thank you. Fed now. CBDCs. I've been telling you this. This is from the horse's mouth. This is from the horse's mouth. He's telling you, hey, listen, this is what the fuck these motherfuckers are thinking. We couldn't kill it, so now we have to destroy it. We couldn't destroy it. Now we're trying to swallow it up and rebrand it. I told you about Fed Now last week. Fed Now and Signet was doing what Fed Now wants to do, but they wanna observe. He just told you that they're creating CBDCs in order to survey you. This guy is supposed to be the guy that's supposed to be the enemy. Him, this guy we're looking at, but he's not. He's been the champion, one of them in the space. His constituents meaning the people that he represents, right? If you put money behind a congressman, right, your constituents are the people. The people united. Tom Emmer. And he's really active on Twitter. Tom Emmer. His name is in the banner right there. Tom Emmer is always tweeting out, and he's usually on point, especially with everything that's been going on. He's one of the congressmen who's about it, which is it's scary. It's scary because a lot of times you can't really trust congressmen or what they're pushing or what they're about. There are many who don't really say what they mean and mean what they say. This guy, when it comes to the space, he's legit. No. You could just type in Tom Emmer on Twitter, but let's keep going.
Trying to debank crypto. Well, you got to tell me, is this a coincidence that we lost Silvergate, Silicon Valley, and Signature all within a matter of days, a couple of weeks? I don't think there is any coincidence, gentlemen. The closure of crypto and tech-friendly banks like Silvergate, Signature, and Silicon Valley have left the crypto industry largely unbanked. And I think the attitude of our government regulators right now, I think the attitude of our cabinet members, whether it's the Treasury, whether it's the Fed, whether it's the SEC, CFTC, is all taking a negative aspect or view of what we're trying to do. And as a result, I think they're risking sending the innovation we've been trying to protect right here in this country right across the ocean.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that part? If let's say you've been eating tons of food. There's not enough food that can go into your actually no it's the opposite. You're eating so much that there's so much left over, and in fact the food is making food for itself. You have so much food stacked on top of each other, the bacteria is generating positive types of hamburgers and chocolate and shit all around you. But since there's no one to eat the food developed the brain. I don't know, the bacteria developed the brain, and the food, the hamburgers, the cheese whiz is all going overseas to be eaten. It needs to be eaten by somebody, right? He just told you. This is a congressman. This is the House Majority Whip of a Republican Party House controlled House of Representatives. And he just told you, like, all right, let's keep going. We're gonna jump into, like I said, I'm not an educator. I'm highlighting 2 more points. All you gotta do is listen. Just fucking listen, motherfucker.
Barney Frank, the co-author, by the way, of the Dodd.
Maybe a Silvergate, maybe a Signature Bank. What are you writing to the head of the FDIC about this? What are your stated concerns?
Well, we've seen statements from individuals across the industry, including former House Financial Services Chair Barney Frank, the co-author, by the way, of the Dodd-Frank Act, highlighting the targeted nature of the regulatory efforts of this administration to single out financial institutions, and I believe to send a message to get people to move away from crypto. I mean, there are double standards when it comes to whether financial institutions can custody crypto, not using it to leverage against it or anything, but just to custody. And there's different messages coming out of the Fed, coming out of the SEC. The SEC's been very aggressive. And by the way, 2 sources, you might have seen this because I mentioned it in an interview last week. 2 sources told Reuters that, quote, any buyer of Signature must agree to give up all the crypto business in the bank. Think about that for a second, Ryan. If that's not government putting its heavy hand on the scale and doing it in a way that to the detriment of crypto or people that are interested in crypto, I don't know what is. And then you talked about Marty Greenberg, Chair Greenberg. The FDIC press release said that Signature's crypto depositors would not become deposits of the bank that purchases it, right? So we know that right after I went on this news program and talked about Reuters outing the FDIC, we know they went back and denied that was said. But then the chair comes out and says, look, anybody who buys this bank, crypto deposits aren't going to be part of your purchase. And then it can't be coincidence that the Fed is launching its own payment network that's literally designed to settle payments in seconds the same year that financial regulators have weaponized their authority to quash the major banks that service the crypto industry. We don't need the federal government competing with the private sector.
Boom. 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 Did you hear that? Did you hear that last part? We don't need the government competing with the private sector. And that, so now you see what the motivation is. Now you see they're killing innovation because they want to control it in order to power something that doesn't need to be powered. This is also the reason why you've been seeing lately, if you heard of BRICS, right? And the Chinese yuan being empowered. Brazil, Russia, India, China, Australia. Oh, no, not Australia. Saudi Arabia, right? And then you have Mexico and a couple of other countries that have just joined this coalition that are seeking to, that they're looking to establish power through a different major fiat currency other than the USDC, which has been alarming because it means that the power, the influential power within the world is going to be using USD as a standard, the standard currency, which gives America its power, is starting to fall off if they do this. They see blood in the water, is what it is. The countries that have always been like kind of at odds with America are like, hey, listen, we only did with you because you managed to do this thing that was novel and innovative. You're starting to lose it. Your president is losing it. You're starting to kill yourselves, financially speaking, not literally. I hope you're paying attention, y'all. All right. Wait, let me just make sure. Damn it, there's not a lot of time. I'm not trying to keep you here. I just want to get to certain points.
They weren't even favorable, right? Some of their cabinet members. This administration has an all-out assault. And I would argue it's because the modern monetary theorists, yesterday's Keynesians, who now occupy the White House and are Elizabeth Warren acolytes, they have this theory with modern monetary theory that
Wait, so I hate to keep stopping. Did you just notice that he just shitted on that he just shitted on Elizabeth Warren? Did you just notice that?
Country that controls its own fiat currency can print and spend as much money as it wants, which is frankly false. I mean, you can't defy the laws of gravity. You can't defy the laws of common sense. You can't make that work where you print and spend ad nauseum and expect that it's not going to come back to haunt you. But that's their theory. And guess what flies directly in the face of their theory? Crypto. People that have decentralized financial networks that are not beholden to the federal government, that understand what good monetary policy is and don't want to continue to participate in a system that frankly is flawed and is corrupt right now. That's the issue. So two things. One, good news is we still do have elections in this country. The next one's coming up in 2024. I would tell everybody who's on this podcast, it's not about being a Republican, a Democrat, or something else. It's about being an American. It's about being a citizen who's interested. Crypto is a nonpartisan thing. It's not about your political leanings, but it is about right and wrong. And what these central bankers and what our central government is doing right now, and these little militant lieutenants under the senator from Massachusetts, who I'm not going to keep naming.
That's Elizabeth Warren.
They are the army that you're fighting, and you do it first at the ballot box. You do
the army that she just said, the anti-what army? Exactly.
Do it with awareness. You share this information with anybody and everybody that is favorable to the perspective that you're looking at and that I look at. And then, yes, if you are a going concern, and I would argue that it's not just startups and entrepreneurs. I would argue that there are existing operations that deal in the digital asset space, crypto at all, that are looking to move. They're looking to move to places where they will be treated fairly, where they know the rules of the road. And I'm not saying this is where they're going to go, but the risk that the United States has, and remember, the folks in Great Britain, they thought they were never going to be, sunsetted, and then they were. After World War II, the United States financial markets became the envy of the world. Well, guess what? This is the next iteration. Crypto, digital assets is the next iteration of the greatest financial markets ever. And
okay, final point I want to make is here for the sake of time. I didn't want you all to sit here for as long as you have, but it's just this point right here. There's a shitload more. And again, I don't like using other people's content, but shout out to Bankless. I've always loved Bankless. But here's one last thing. One last thing I want you all to listen to. Please pay attention to this.
An idea, which is a surveillance tool when it comes to the CBDC.
Oh wait, hold. Sorry. Too much. I was looking for the mouth to be open to see if he was talking.
Report. You get to the very end, and you got to be asked.
Epicenter perspective.
Okay, sorry. Okay, here we go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
If the U.S. doesn't get aligned with where this technology is going, has there been some increased partisanship? From what you're saying, which is incredible to hear, you guys are coming out very, very strongly, and of course, you are a Republican. How does this divide among, red and blue sort of divides? Has there been increasing divide? Because I've always seen crypto to have wins for both sides of the aisle, and certainly for all Americans. What are you seeing?
Well, let's before I hit the what is a nonpartisan issue in my mind, and your good question. Let's go back to that economic report for a second, because if you read that economic report, you get to the very end, and you got to be asking yourself, I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. What is wrong with this report? You go through the whole thing saying crypto, saying this whole industry is a fraud, is a scam, it offers no value, it's all play money, etc. And then you get to the very end and say the future of our finance in this country is going to be Fed now and the CBDC.
Boom! See? You see that shit? Did you hear that shit? Did you did you heard
Right. Wait a second. You just told me that none of this makes sense, but your idea, your government idea, which is a surveillance tool when it comes to the CBDC, is the answer. By the way, in Fed Now, oh, yippee. I think Fed Now will probably work about as well as the post office, all right? You will not have real-time clearing, and if you do, you got to worry about everybody who's watching that transaction and scraping data out of that transaction on behalf of your government that's supposed to be working for you. On the partisan issue, I don't think we've lost the high ground on a nonpartisan approach to crypto. I think what you're seeing is some serious realignment, a political party torture, wrenching, going back and forth. You literally have a Democrat Party, and this isn't to offend any Democrats who are on this, that has morphed into 3 or 4 different perspectives, right? All the way from Marxism and socialism back to the typical moderate Democrat who wants to argue about the size and scope of government versus an individual's right to self-determine and where the line goes. The Republican Party has always had its issues with party purity, right? Constitutional purity, and I'm better than you, and I'm more, and then the religious right that factors into it. So we have all these, if you will, melting pot of these different political persuasions. But the problem we have is the country's only 2 teams, right? For political purposes, it's Democrats and it's Republicans. And right now, there's a Democrat in the White House that the people that wear his jersey, and I know some people who are on this a podcast listening are going to go, when are people going to rise above that? I get it. But you've got some good Democrats. I'm going to tell you right now. And by the way, their political persuasion probably leans even farther left than.
You don't understand how wild as fuck the last two paragraphs that he just said. This is 2023. You don't understand. This is a Republican House Majority Whip saying this. Oh my God. Like, I don't look, politics in America, I get it, but
I would care to acknowledge, but it's not about their political leanings, just like it's not about Tom Emmer's political leanings. This is an area, finance, that literally defines our freedom. It has up till now. If you look at the first 240 some years of this country, it's about the finance, but really about the last 70, 85 years of experience. It's about the ability for Americans to be mobile, right? To climb the ladder of prosperity. By the way, to fall off the top of that mountain and climb back up. But it's been all done with paper currency and gold, etc. Well, we've just got the new version. This is digital gold, right? This is the same concepts. It's for value. People are going to assign it value and use it as a medium of exchange. And this new area is all about people being able to get capital, to expend capital, to grow new ideas, to improve their lifestyle. I got news for you. That's not a Republican or Democrat thing. That's an American thing. And whether it's Richie Torres, whether it's Darren Soto, who I do a bunch of different bills with, whether it's Ro Khanna, right? I mean, you've got Democrats on the other side that are pro-digital. I think you got to be a little patient with them, and I'm not here to defend them.
Okay. So he mentioned Richie Torres. Shout out to Richie Torres. He's a Democrat. He's a young Democrat who's progressive, who made a mistake. He signed some legislation that was kind of counterintuitive, and he got fucked over in terms of digital assets and crypto. He got fucked over. And then once that happened, he fully came on board the ship. Because he was trying to brown nose and he got burned. And it was kind of like his welcome to this level of politics, and he got burned. So it's interesting that a Republican of this level is shouting him out, and also a couple of others as well. And then the fact that he also says, "Oh, hey, look, I'm about trying to defend these guys, whatever." That's a Republican thing. He's still gonna jab them. He's still gonna poke them in the ribs. But we know that they are reaching across the party aisle. We know that there are people who understand this finally. That we know that there are people there. So when these stupid ass bills that get drafted and are released are coming out, there should be no excuse. It's like you have someone who thinks on the level of Tom Emmer there. There has to be other people who think the same way. But if you're letting this shit get out, it can't be where the people see it that something's wrong with the infrastructure bill, with the Restrict Act, with all these things, and you don't. You see it and you're letting it ride.
But I think you got to be a little patient with them, because maybe they are measuring their words because they happen to be under a Democrat administration that they disagree with. But just because you don't see them, being a rabble rouser and attacking and throwing bombs at their own administration, doesn't mean these people are literally working hard under the radar, trying to move the people in the White House to do the right thing. Quite frankly, this is what frustrates me with Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, if she truly believed in the American value of self-determination, if she truly believed in individuals' right to make their own decisions, which she claims, she would champion crypto. She would champion digital assets. Instead, it's very clear to me that she's nothing more than a big central bank power hungry leader who sees her power essentially being diluted and taken away by this decentralization of our financial system and our financial transactions, Ryan. She's desperately, along with the establishment, the institution, she is desperately clinging to hold on to that central banking thing because that's where their power is.
Oh, sorry. We went a couple of minutes over time. I didn't want this to extend this long. We'll have lives and things, but I felt like the message here was important because this isn't about, politics and laws happen on like the big stage, on the macro level, federal government, and like, oh, you're just a small little citizen. It doesn't bother you. It doesn't affect you. Trust me when I tell you that these actions affect your marble cards. They affect your wallets. They affect your privacy. They're talking directly about you. She's talking about stopping you because you're a builder, you're a creator, the future CEO of Voxels. You do this, you do that. So listen, y'all, please just. I know you've been hearing it from me weeks on end. It's not me regurgitating what other people say. This just came out. It's not me like rewriting what they're doing. I spend so much time just putting all this shit together in my brain and making it interesting and sound interesting enough to keep you engaged. The truth is that I see this shit beforehand and I'm connecting the dots way before this starts coming out. So please, if you don't appreciate it, shit, I hope you do. Thank you so much for coming to the Afties. Much love and enjoy your day. Just think about what the hell just happened. Much love.
Much love, peace, love, and whipsy.
Much love, show. I love this new format, playing the clips, man. I hope you come back with that.